Hey y'all, Tarmac here. For those of you on Reddit, I am the Tucson Tarmac. I'm here today to talk to you about the Saitek Cyborg Evo joystick. You can see immediately it's an ambidextrous stick. It can be set up for either left or right hand. I have got it set up for the left hand, and it is doing all the controls that you would normally be doing with your left hand on the keyboard. Well, at least that I would normally be doing. Your setup may differ from mine. The trigger, oops, got to start my match with my battle cry, Spork. Spork is a much better battle cry than Spoon. It's pointy. Anyways, as I was saying, the joystick itself, I am using the trigger to zoom. I've got my jump jets, next target, are the two primary buttons I'm pushing on with my thumb. Pushing forward obviously makes the mech go forward, go faster. Pulling back slows it down and reverses. Left and right turns. This is driving the mech. The stick is driving the mech. It is not aiming the upper body. You are driving the legs with it. You can see here I am in a Spider 5V, possibly the most useless mech in an MWO, but one of the most fun as well, I found. This has one large laser and 12 jump jets. One of the things I wanted to be able to do with the joystick was be able to jump, turn in midair, and hit next target to light up these guys as you see them doing here. That's, scouting 101. I don't have a tag. It doesn't have room for, it has two energy slots. They're both center torso, and I went with the large laser. Probably should have an ER, large laser, in there. One of the other buttons I have that is easy to get to is the center legs button. It is not normally, okay, you see here, I'm typing. You have to take your hands off the type. But the center torso button, center legs button, not center torso, it's not defaulted to the keyboard, so people don't use it, I think. At least I wasn't using it until I started setting up this joystick, and it's so much better than the center legs, center torso, because it just brings your legs around to where you're looking. I still have center torso mapped to the flight stick, but it's the center legs that I use more often than not.
New target acquired.
Again, I'm giving out information. Just hanging out up by the radar tower, it looks like. Spying. Yeah, this thing should have a tag or a narc or something, to be honest with you, but one large laser. The stick itself has 6 other buttons mounted on the base. I've got stuff like toggle ECM, open bomb bay doors, shutdown, stuff like that. Onto those buttons. I don't use them that often, so it's worth that. But the important buttons that you need to use, that you're going to be using in-game, are all on the stick. I experimented with several different layouts in the test sim before I settled on this. You see I'm working the jump jets there. Let's see what I'm doing. This is obviously Forest Colony.
New target acquired.
Oh, I think that was me negotiating the tunnel. Again, there's the tower. The center legs, if you get lost, if you get lost as to where your legs are, it seems like hitting that puts you right back to where you want to be. It's kind of where you're looking. You can also hold it and drive and move your body around with you, or you can just not move the mouse. I'm not going to lie to you, there is a very steep learning curve with this. The first I spent an hour at least in the mech lab playing with this. The first couple of matches were pretty brutal. Been doing this for about 4 to 5 days when I shot this video. I think I shot this video on Saturday. And yes, this is the only match that I take that actually did pretty well on it.
New target acquired.
Got some water action using my one large laser. Gotta back up. When you're backing up, you notice that I backed up and turned to the left. When you back up and pull the stick to the left, you actually kind of back up and go to the right, if that makes any sense. When you're reversing, you'll get used to it, but just be prepared that that's the way it goes. Now I'm using some jump jets.
Target acquired.
Yeah, I looked at the keys that I was using the most, and I always had the E button for my zoom, and that was the one I was hammering the most. And so I put that on the trigger. I tried putting the jump jet on the trigger, and it worked really well, but then when I was in a mech without jump jets, I felt like I was wasting the best key on the stick. So I put the zoom back there.
New target acquired.
Water. This guy sees me. Also note that I'm not using the torso twist. There is an option to use the torso twist in the setup, and the stick has it. That would normally be what you use your rudders for, because it's a standalone stick. But I'm not using that. That's still on the mouse. You can kind of see the wood I've got that's holding the. I got some wood and some clamps and some foam holding the stick down to the table. I'll try and make something better eventually. The problem with the way it is set up is you can't use the throttle. Not that you need the throttle, but I was going to use that for Weapon Group 5 to use a tag. You could use that just to keep the tag on without having to run a script or anything. I don't normally use the tag. But you saw I checked the scoreboard. Since I shot this video, I've remapped that button. It is now on the stick. It is now the down button on the D-pad. You don't have to take your hands off the keyboard and off the mouse and stick at all to do anything other than type. Last shot, baby. Crash and burn. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you try using a stick. You see here I actually did halfway decently, 800 experience points. That's not bad for a mech with one gun. See you next time. Peace.